And, and finally the doctor gave him the bad news that, it just wasn't going to happen. He was going to die, And they arranged hospice care for him. And he was scared. He was really scared. You know how they say that fear is a bad thing and it makes you worse? Well, I think in Charles' case it was his fear that cured him. Because at that point, he buckled down and he actually cured this. He really committed to curing it, and presumably followed the thread. So what you hear then in the follow-up cure shows is you hear him doing that, and then the very last show is way after he cured it. And, I was asking him, well, does that still show up on medical tests? And he goes, oh, no, that's a thing of the past. I got my negative test back a long time ago. The cancer's gone, And, okay, now for the manifesting part of this story. And you see, there are two ways that people manifest. And one of them is a person will say, I want this. Like I was watching on TV, this woman wrote down exactly what she wanted in a man. All the qualities, this whole grocery list. And the exact guy walked into her life and became her partner. Boom. So this is one way people manifest. And that's the way Franny manifests things. And the way I do it is, it's the, okay, God, I'll take whatever you give me. I don't want to know what's coming, I'm not writing anything down. Because, see, the thing about me is the one thing I know about myself is if I start writing down stuff I want, I'm going to write down things that are bad for me because I'm such an addict. A great example of this, by the way, is I had the perfect people walk into my life. Like Keely is one of them, by the way. I had the perfect people walk into my life, and I just couldn't recognize that they were the right people. I mean, it took me years. And it's amazing that, 30 years later, Franny and I are still living together. We're no longer married, but we are living together. And I'm living with her and her significant other, Greg, who is the executive director of the ministry, this ministry. This is a pretty typical ministry, by the way. You connect to God, which is a function, by the way. God connection is also a function. And, you have the power to cure. You're created in God's image, and you have the power to cure. So it's a pretty typical ministry. The monthly collegeship is your tithe. And the signals that you get that you're curing something are prayer. It's conversations with God. But instead of talking at God like most people do when they pray, God talks to you and tells you, yeah, you're doing it right, And this is conversations with God without the book. Anyway, so here's what happened, okay? Franny started telling me, we need a CD. Let me dig in my bag again here and see if I can. You see this? You've probably seen this around the website, okay? So Franny was telling me, we need a CD, and I was saying, no, we don't need a CD. I didn't believe we needed one. Later, after we had the CD, I realized that you cure more people when you have a CD, because somebody, as soon as we put the CD out, somebody told me this story about how she put the CD in her, her player in her car when she was driving up to visit somebody, and on the way up there, she cured her shingles. No kidding, during the drive, while she was listening to the CD. And I said, okay, so there's something, it focuses them, if they have this audio running while they're curing something. So, anyway, but I was saying, no, I don't want to do a CD because it's too much work. And you see, we had the money. We could publish a CD. but I just didn't want to do the work of creating a CD. And then Charles called up, and he was chatting with, Keeley, and he wanted to donate. And he said, I want to donate a CD. Boing. Now, I guess God wanted you to have a CD because somebody who owned a CD company, we didn't know this, okay? We didn't know Charles owned a CD company, but somebody who owned a CD company cured terminal cancer. So Keely calls me up and she says, well, I was talking to Charles and he said he wanted to donate a CD. And when she said that, I went, uh-oh. This is a message from God, okay? God is telling me, hey, Bayard, hello, wake up. You need a CD. So this is an example of Franny manifesting, because Franny had no idea that Charles owned a CD company. But Franny, in the middle of all this, just in her head, the idea came, we need a CD. And you know what? That's intuition. And intuition is also a function. So in her case, what happened was she did exactly what, they talk about in The Secret. Like, she visualized, okay, I want a CD. And then she put it out into the universe. She was telling me, I want a CD, I want a CD. And I was going, no, 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 no. And that's the thing, is that it often looks like the universe is saying no. But, you manifest it, and there it is. And in my case, I had to get a message from God. That was my manifesting. That's what manifesting looks like for me. That's the way I always manifest things. Like I manifested a new car recently. Never did I visualize having a new car or think about it. It sort of just came. The ministry gives me a car, and it came from some other source, and all of a sudden I had a new car to drive. But that's the other way of manifesting, and they're both good. It depends on, probably we all do both of them. Except in my case, see, I have so much serendipity in my life generally that I really don't need to think about things I want. Like, I don't really want anything, I already got everything I want. I want to have less, I think. Less is more for me, So maybe I put more energy in, like, what can I repel to, it's like the law of attraction, My thing is like, what can I repel today?